The Taiping Rebellion was a massive civil war that tore China apart from 1850 to 1864. It was a period marked by intense violence and widespread upheaval, fundamentally altering the social and political landscape of the nation. It was one of the deadliest conflicts in human history, with an estimated death toll ranging from 20 to 30 million people. The sheer scale of the devastation was unprecedented. Millions of people died, and entire regions of China were devastated. Villages were razed to the ground, and the infrastructure of the country was left in ruins, leading to widespread famine and suffering. The rebellion had a profound impact on the course of Chinese history. It not only caused immense human suffering, but also led to significant political and social changes. It weakened the Qing dynasty and contributed to the rise of revolutionary movements in the 20th century. The instability it caused paved the way for future uprisings and the eventual fall of the Qing dynasty. The rebellion began in the southern province of Guangxi, a region known for its rugged terrain and diverse population. It was here that the seeds of discontent were sown. It was led by Hong Xiuquan, a charismatic religious leader who claimed to be the younger brother of Jesus Christ. His unique blend of Christian and traditional Chinese beliefs attracted a large following. Hong believed he was chosen by God to overthrow the Qing dynasty and establish a new era of peace and prosperity in China. His vision of a utopian society resonated with many who were disillusioned with the existing order. He called his new dynasty the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom, envisioning it as a place where equality and justice would prevail. This vision, however, was never fully realized, as the rebellion ultimately ended in failure. The Taiping Rebellion did not erupt from a vacuum. It was the culmination of years of suffering and discontent among the Chinese populace. China in the mid-19th century was a nation in crisis. The country was grappling with internal strife, economic instability, and social unrest. The ruling Qing dynasty was corrupt and ineffective. Its inability to implement meaningful reforms only exacerbated the problems. The once mighty empire was struggling to cope with a rapidly growing population. Overpopulation led to food shortages and increased competition for resources. This led to widespread poverty, especially in rural areas. Many peasants were forced to live in dire conditions, barely able to survive. Adding to the unrest, foreign powers, particularly Great Britain, were aggressively pushing the opium trade on China. This was not just an economic issue, but a social catastrophe. The opium trade had a devastating impact on Chinese society. It led to widespread addiction, affecting millions of people across the country. It drained the country's silver reserves and led to widespread addiction. The economic toll was immense, further weakening the already fragile state. The Qing government was unable to stop the opium trade, further eroding its legitimacy in the eyes of the people. Their failure to address these critical issues set the stage for the Taiping Rebellion. The Taiping Rebellion was fueled by more than just economic hardship. Hong Xiuquan's message of radical social and religious change resonated deeply with the Chinese peasantry. Hong promised a utopian society, the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom, where everyone would be equal. There would be no poverty, and land would be redistributed equally among the people. In many ways, the Taiping ideology was far ahead of its time. Hong advocated for the equality of women, the abolition of foot binding, and even communal living. His blend of Christianity, Confucianism, and indigenous Chinese beliefs created a powerful ideology that inspired millions to join his cause. The Taiping Rebellion quickly gained momentum. Starting as a small band of rebels in Guangxi, the Taiping army swelled in size as it marched north, capturing city after city. In 1853, the Taiping captured the city of Nanjing, one of the most important cities in China. Nanjing became the capital of the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom. At its peak, the Taiping army numbered over 1 million soldiers. The Qing dynasty seemed on the verge of collapse. The fall of Nanjing sent shock waves throughout China and the world. It was a clear sign that the Qing dynasty was in serious trouble. Just when the Qing dynasty seemed doomed, a new force emerged to challenge the Taiping Zeng Guofan. The Taiping Rebellion had wreaked havoc across China, threatening the very foundation of the Qing rule. Amidst this chaos, Zeng Guofan, a man of great intellect and determination, rose to prominence. Zeng was a brilliant scholar official who rallied loyalist forces against the rebellion. His deep understanding of Confucian principles and military strategy made him a formidable leader. He was not just a man of letters, but also a man of action, capable of inspiring those around him. He understood that the Qing army was too weak and disorganized to defeat the Taiping. The existing military forces were plagued by corruption and inefficiency, making them ill-prepared for the challenges posed by the well-organized Taiping forces. So he created his own army, the Xiang army, which was funded by local gentry and trained in Western military tactics. This innovative approach allowed him to build a force that was not only loyal, but also highly effective in combat. The Xiang army became a symbol of hope for the Qing dynasty. Zeng Guofan was a brilliant strategist and a ruthless commander. His ability to devise complex military strategies and execute them with precision was unparalleled. He was known for his relentless pursuit of victory, often employing unconventional tactics to outmaneuver his enemies. He slowly but surely pushed the Taiping back, retaking key cities and cutting off their supply lines. His methodical approach ensured that each victory was built upon the last, gradually weakening the Taiping's hold on the region. The Xiang army, though smaller than the Taiping forces, was far better equipped and disciplined. Their rigorous training and superior weaponry gave them a significant advantage in battle, allowing them to overcome larger enemy forces. It proved to be a decisive factor in the eventual Qing victory. The success of the Xiang army under Zeng Guofan's leadership not only saved the Qing dynasty, but also cemented his legacy as one of China's greatest military leaders. Section 6. A kingdom divided. Internal strife weakens the rebellion. While Zeng Guofan and the Xiang army pressed their attack, the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom was weakening from within. Power struggles and internal conflicts erupted among the Taiping leadership. Hong Xiuquan became increasingly isolated from his followers, retreating into his palace in Nanjing. The Taiping leadership's initial zeal for radical social reforms waned as they focused on maintaining their grip on power. The utopian vision of the Heavenly Kingdom began to crumble, disillusioning many of its supporters. This internal strife sapped the rebellion of its strength and made it vulnerable to the resurgent Qing forces. In 1864, after a long siege, the Song army finally captured Nanjing. The fall of Nanjing marked the effective end of the Taiping Rebellion. The city was subjected to a brutal sacking, a testament to the bitterness of the fighting. Hong Xiuquan died in the city shortly before it fell, reportedly from poisoning. The remaining Taiping forces were hunted down and eliminated. The Qing dynasty, though victorious, was severely weakened by the conflict. The rebellion had exposed the dynasty's weaknesses and sown the seeds of its eventual downfall in the early 20th century. Section 8. A legacy of devastation. Counting the cost of a generation lost. The Taiping Rebellion was one of the bloodiest conflicts in human history. While exact figures are impossible to determine, historians estimate that between 20 and 30 million people died as a result of the fighting, disease, and famine. The rebellion devastated the Chinese economy and left entire regions in ruins. The social and psychological scars of the rebellion took generations to heal. The Taiping Rebellion was a period of unimaginable suffering for the Chinese people. It left an enduring mark on the country's psyche. Section 9. The Taiping Rebellion in History, a turning point for China. The Taiping Rebellion was a pivotal event in Chinese history. It marked the beginning of the end for the Qing Dynasty, which had ruled China for over 2 centuries. The rebellion exposed the dynasty's corruption, incompetence, and inability to cope with the challenges facing China in the mid-19th century. Though the rebellion ultimately failed, it had a profound impact on the course of Chinese history. It paved the way for future revolutionary movements, culminating in the overthrow of the Qing Dynasty and the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949.